I hope the material is visible. Can you see the material? ওয়ার্ড ফাইলটা দেখতে পাচ্ছ?
না স্যার,
দেখা যাচ্ছে না?
স্যার ব্ল্যাক দেখাচ্ছে।
ব্ল্যাক
কি
দেখাচ্ছে।
হয়েছে? কি প্রবলেমটা বলো?
স্যার ব্ল্যাক দেখাচ্ছে। এইবার দেখা যাচ্ছে।
এবার দেখা যাচ্ছে, ঠিক আছে। We have discussed at length about discrete time signals or sequences or time series. Now we will take up discrete time LTI systems or discrete time LSI systems. Same thing. Linear time invariant or linear shift invariant. Both these adjectives are used. First of all, what is a discrete time system? A discrete time system is one that operates on a discrete time signal to generate another discrete time signal, to produce another signal, another discrete time signal in accordance with some well-defined rule. I have not written down this definition in specific, but you will remember, it's very simple. So for a discrete time system, the input should be a discrete time signal, the output also should be a discrete time signal. In that sense, if you consider an analog to digital converter, it's not a discrete time system because the input is a continuous time signal, but the output is not a continuous time signal. Similarly, a DAC, digital to analog converter, that is also not an example of a discrete time system because the input to the digital to analog converter, that is the discrete time, that is a discrete time signal, and the output is a continuous time signal. So that is also not a discrete time system. Discrete time systems are simply numerical algorithms to perform specific tasks. Say if you just have a analog Butterworth filter, so you may develop an equivalent numerical algorithm to perform the same task as done by the Butterworth filter. So that numerical algorithm will now be treated as a discrete time system. All right. In case of spectral representation of signals, in the continuous time domain, you take the Fourier transform and obtain the spectrum. But in case of, if you want to obtain the Fourier transform using numerical method, that becomes a discrete time system. A system that computes the Fourier transform numerically. That is one example of a discrete time system, like that. So that is in essence a discrete time system. And regarding linear time invariant system, by now you know the definition of linear system and time invariant system. So first we start with a discrete time differentiator, a very simple system. Recall that in case of a continuous time differentiator, if the input is xt, the output yt is the derivative. That means at every instant t, the output of this continuous time differentiator is the slope of xt at that instant. Isn't it? The slope of xt at that instant. What is the transfer function of a continuous time differentiator? An ideal continuous time differentiator. What's the transfer function in the S domain?
SXS.
কি হবে transfer function?
S K into S.
ये ठीक আছে এস হ্যাঁ ঠিকই কে বল কে রাখতে পারো একটা এস কে ইনটু এস or এস simply এস because I am considering that yt is dxy dt dxt dt therefore it is simply s anyway. Now I am trying to perform the task of differentiation of the continuous time signal by using discrete time system or digital system, digital signal processing. Task is simply to find out the derivative of xt at every sampling instant. So what you have to do first, you have to digitize or sample that continuous time signal. So its sampled version, uniformly sampled version is x and tau. Now y and tau, it will be the derivative of xt with respect to t at every sampling instant n tau. So y0 will be dxt dt at 0 sampling instant. Y tau will be dxt dt at t equal to tau. Y2 tau will be dxt dt at t equal to 2 tau, like that. So what are the information available to the discrete time differentiator? A knowledge of the input sample, a current input sample, maybe previous input samples, some of the previous input samples, that is also possible, and a knowledge of the sampling period or sampling interval. So based on this information, the discrete time differentiator, it has to generate the output at every sampling instant. All right. So y n tau, it is dxt dt at t equal to n tau, n having these values starting from 0, it takes on positive values. Y n tau is the slope of xt at t equal to n tau. So I have shown here a particular xt, all right, shown by the dotted line. And the red vertical lines, they represent the samples of xt at 0 tau, twice tau, thrice tau, in this way up to n minus 1 tau, n tau. So n tau is the current instant, current sampling instant. If that be the case, and if tau is small, sufficiently small, then how can we approximate that slope? That slope will give you the derivative at t equal to n tau. How can we approximate the slope? Simply by using the backward difference relation. Approximate slope at t equal to n tau is x n tau. That means this value minus that value. That means minus x n tau minus tau divided by this interval, tau. So that gives y n tau. All right. That is y n tau. So smaller is the value of tau, better will be the approximation. I haven't considered here, from the basics of calculus, you know that I could have written x and y n tau as x n tau plus tau minus x n tau divided by tau. That also is a possible approximation. Why haven't I written that? Because right at this moment, I am interested in real-time computation of the derivatives. So if you want to compute the derivative at t equal to n tau, you cannot use the value of x n tau plus tau. A stream of data is coming in. So what is the latest data? It is x n tau. If you look for x n tau plus tau, what will happen? You are looking at some future instant, a value that hasn't occurred. So that's why I am representing it by x n tau minus x n tau minus tau divided by tau. The current input minus just the previous input sample divided by tau. Suppose you have kept stored a large number of samples of xt in some memory location, and then you want to perform the task of finding out the derivative. All right. In that case, if you fix a particular instant to suit your purpose at as n equal to 0, because you have at your disposal all the values for n less than 0 as well as for n greater than 0, there you could have used the forward difference relation. That means yn tau equal to x n tau plus tau minus x n tau divided by tau. So that is valid only for offline signal processing. But online signal processing or real-time signal processing, a stream of data is coming in, and at every sampling instant, you have to generate the current slope of xt. In that case, backward difference relation has to be used. So now come to this case, so that is yn tau. If you express it in terms of sequence, yn is a0xn plus a1xn minus 1, where a0 is 1 by tau, the coefficient a0 is 1 by tau, and a1 is minus 1 by tau. So this discrete time differentiation algorithm using backward difference relation, that can be pictorially depicted in this way. You have the sequence xn here, and that xn is multiplied by a0, it's fed to one of the inputs of a 2-input adder. You have here a box with tau inscribed. It is referred to as a unit delay element. That means this box, it delays the input sequence by one sample. So at the input of this box, you have xn. At the output of the box, you have the sequence xn minus 1. So here at the input, when you have x1, here at the output of this box, you have x0. Here when you have x2, here you have x1. So that means it serves as some type of storage. It's called unit delay. So it serves as a storage. Such a unit delay in terms of hardware, it can be realized using a shift register. So here you have xn minus 1. A1 coefficient is there. Now these coefficients A0 and A1, they are stored in memory locations. So at every sampling instant, what is done? The current input sample is multiplied with the coefficient A0 recovered from the memory location. So you have here the product A0xn. The immediate previous input sample xn minus 1, it is multiplied by A1 retrieved from some other memory location. And this product serves as the input to this adder. So A0xn plus A1 xn minus 1 gives yn. Remember that if you start from the instant n equal to 0, what will be x0? X0 is here. What will be y0? A0 x0 plus A1 x minus 1, x minus 1. But because we are considering causal sequences, x minus 1 will be treated as 0. All input samples prior to n equal to 0 will be treated as 0. So at n equal to 0, you will have here A0 x0, A1 x minus 1 means 0 here. So that will be y0. Henceforth, there will all, the samples appearing here at the output of the unit delay element, they are not identically 0. Some samples may be 0, but they are not identically 0. So that is the depiction. What is the transfer function of this system? If you take the Z transforms of both sides of this equation 3, you rearrange the terms and you get the transfer function in the Z domain, Z transfer function of this discrete time differentiator as yz by xz, which is a0 plus a1 z to the power minus 1, that means 1 by tau times 1 minus z to the power minus 1. So, just see here. Is that? Oh, that is, I have not drawn it. Anyway. Now, remember that for a continuous time differentiator, the transfer function is s. Therefore, s and 1 by tau into 1 minus z to the power minus 1, they are equivalent. So s is approximately equal to 1 minus z to the power minus 1 by tau when we look for a transformation from z to s. All right. Therefore, this is one approximate relation between s and z. All right. Write this part, then I'll proceed. CT stands for continuous time. Sorry. The sampler shown here, obviously it is not in the form, physically it's not in the form of any switch. But mathematically, we are representing as a switch. The sampling process is inherent in the analog to digital conversion. উফ, এটা কি ছবিটা আঁকা হয়েছে?
Yes, sir.
Slope is approximated by backward difference relation.
স্যার একটু উপরের ছবিটা আরেকবার দেখাবেন? হ্যাঁ স্যার, ঠিক আছে।
Just one minute.
অসুবিধা হচ্ছে না পর্দাগুলো ভিতরে ঢুকিয়ে দিই।
Sir, please scroll up. Yeah. Okay, sir.
We will use this backward difference transformation is approximately equal to 1 minus z to the power minus 1 by tau later, when we study about designing of IIR filters. So that may be called, that relation may be called the backward difference transformation relation, or the approximation of derivative, etc. Now come to the case of discrete time integrator. In case of a continuous time integrator, if we start from the basics, then if xt is the input to a continuous time integrator and the output is yt, then yt will be given by the expression what is there in equation 1. T prime is a dummy time variable because ultimately you want to have an expression involving t as the independent variable. Therefore, a dummy variable has to be introduced here as the variable of integration. It's integrated over 0 to t. So that is yt. That means yt, it is the area under xt prime. It is the area under xt prime over 0 to t. All right. Now, if you perform this task, want to perform this task by a discrete time integrator. So first, you have to discretize this signal. I mean, convert it into a discrete time signal. So it's to have x and tau. So what information are there at the disposal of this discrete time integrator? The current input sample, maybe some previous input samples, and the knowledge of tau. Whether some other information is at store, let us see. So y and tau should be the area under xt over 0 to n tau. This will be the expression for y and tau. Now this 0 to n tau, I have split up this interval into two parts. One part is integration over 0 to n tau minus tau. Another part is integration over n tau minus tau to n tau. Now in equation 3, if y n tau represents integration over 0 to n tau, what will the integration from 0 to n tau minus tau represent? Obviously y n tau minus tau. এখানে যদি 0 থেকে n tau ইন্টিগ্রেট করলে xt প্রাইম কে y n tau পাওয়া যেত, তাহলে এখানে 0 to n tau minus tau এর উপর ইন্টিগ্রেট করলে কি পাওয়া যাবে? It will be y n tau minus tau, isn't it? So y n tau is y n tau minus tau plus that term. So our real headache is regarding the second term. And it can be approximated. You cannot obtain the exact value. It can be approximated in several ways. How to do that? First is this is actually the area over xt prime from n tau minus tau to n tau over a duration of tau units over that span. So this area is the area, as one of the possibilities is that that area can be approximated by the area of this rectangle, isn't it? It is actually, truly speaking, it is this area. But since you don't have any, the integrator doesn't have any knowledge about the intermediate nature of xt prime in between two samples, what base the integrator can do, it can approximate the second term by this area of the rectangle. So what is the area of the rectangle? It's tau into x and tau. That is this area. Therefore, equation 4, if you insert here tau into x and tau, what will you get? That expression. So yn is tau xn plus yn minus 1. A0 xn plus yn minus 1, where A0 is tau. So we say that this is the first order difference equation for discrete time integrator using backward rectangular integration. Why do I call it backward rectangular integration? It will be clear to you soon. So this particular algorithm is pictorially represented in this way. Xn is there, it has to be multiplied by A0, and this product, to this product, yn minus 1, it has to be added. Here you place one unit delay element. If the sequence is yn here, at the output of the unit delay element, you will have the sequence yn minus 1, which is yn delayed by one sample. So that is added to A0 xn to generate yn. All right. Start from n equal to 0. You have x0 here. A0 x0 plus y minus 1. Y minus 1 obviously is 0. We are considering causal signals and causal systems. All right. So y minus 1 will be treated as 0. So y0 will simply be A0 x0. What will happen at n equal to 1? You will have here x1. So A0 x1, to that y0 has to be added. Remember that y0 has already been computed. So this unit delay element actually has stored y0. So x1 A0 plus y0, that gives you y1. At n equal to 2, A0 x2 plus y1, that gives you y2. In this way, the computation proceeds. In this case, if you take the z transforms of both sides of this equation, equation 6a, you get that expression. I have made use of the shifting property, time shift property of z transform. Here we had yn minus 1, so its z transform will be z to the power minus 1 into yz, where yz is the z transform of yn. Therefore, the z transfer function of the discrete time backward rectangular integrator, I have represented it in this symbol, this notation. It's yz by xz. That means it's tau divided by 1 minus z to the power minus 1. In case of a continuous time integrator, what's the transfer function? It's 1 by s. So there we have a pole at the origin in the s plane. But here we have a 0 at the origin in the z plane and a pole located at z equal to 1. if you compare between the transfer functions of a continuous time ideal integrator and this rectangular integrator, what relation between S and Z will you come across? 1 by Z is approximately equal to tau divided by 1 minus Z to the power minus 1. 1 by S is approximately equal to tau divided by 1 minus Z to the power minus 1. So S is approximately equal to 1 minus Z to the power minus 1 by tau. So this transformation relation is same as that what we have obtained earlier in case of the differentiator. This one, same transformation relation, same equivalent relation between approximate relation between S and Z. All right. Now consider I have approximated the area by the area of that rectangle with height x and tau. I could have approximated the area by the area of a rectangle with height x and tau minus tau also. If that be the case, then what will happen? Tau x and tau minus tau. Instead of tau into x and tau, I have written it as tau into x and tau minus tau. This one. So in that case, what will happen? This is y and tau. So this is the difference equation. So both xn minus 1 and yn minus 1, they are present. So 6a is the difference equation. A0 is tau. So this alternate first order difference equation for discrete time integrator, we call it now forward rectangular integration. The earlier one was backward rectangular integration. This is called forward rectangular integration. So this may be one pictorial depiction. You will find this representation in many cases. But you must understand that if you represent it in this manner, the realization is not possible, because what you are trying to do here is that you are trying to add a0xn with yn to generate yn. So cannot be implemented as computation of yn requires the value of yn. So in this form, it cannot be implemented. If you want to at all implement it, you implement it in this way. What is the demerit? Demerit is that one extra unit delay element has come in. So extra storage. All right. Here, if you take the Z transforms of both sides, that is the Z transform relation, and the transfer function is tau by Z minus 1. All right. Write this part. If you have any question, please ask me.
Sir, please scroll down. No, sir.
Oh,
It is complete.
okay.
Sir, you may proceed.
Okay. In between n tau minus tau and the previous sample, you must give some dots or dotted lines. হয়েছে?
Yes, sir. Sir, can you scroll up a little bit? Okay, okay. Okay, sir.
আচ্ছা, একটা কথা শোনো, অনেকে কিন্তু অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স রেকর্ড করে বেরিয়ে চলে গেছে। এটা আমার নজরে এসছে, বারণ করে এটা করতে। What I have drawn for the S plane is valid only for the continuous time integrator. Transfer function is 1 by S, so there is a pole at the origin in the S plane. Just 1 minute.
Sir, please scroll up.
Yes. Let me know when you finish drawing.
All right, sir. Okay, sir, done. Sorry, sir. All good.
You may ask that if in this form it is not at all implementable, then why have I given this figure? That is because in many textbooks, it is represented in that manner. The forward rectangular integrator structure is represented in that manner. Incidentally, this pictorial depiction of the algorithms that I am considering, they are referred to as the structures of the discrete time LTI system. In this form, it can be implemented, but compared to the backward rectangular integration, here an extra unit delay element is required. That means an extra piece of storage element. Just see here that there is no z term in the numerator. So the transfer function has only a pole at z equal to 1. You have studied this rectangular integration and trapezoidal integration, so a better way of representing the second term on the right hand side of equation 4, that will be to change from the rectangular approximation to approximate that area by a trapezium, by the area of a trapezium. Then we say that we are performing trapezoidal integration. So that is shown here. So the area of this trapezium, shaded area of this trapezium, that represents the second term on the right hand side of equation 4. So what will be this area? Tau by 2 plus x n tau plus x n tau minus tau. Now what happens to the complete difference equation? So that second term on the right hand side of equation 4 is that one given by equation 9. Combining those two, you get this equation, or in terms of sequence notations, so yn equal to tau by 2 xn plus tau by 2 xn minus 1 plus yn minus 1.
Sir, can you scroll up? Okay, sir. Sir, now you may scroll down.
So that is the final expression, equation 10. First order difference equation representing the algorithm for discrete time integrator based on trapezoidal integration. The structure or the pictorial depiction of the algorithm is given below. 2 unit delay elements will be required because it involves, equation 10 involves xn minus 1 and yn minus 1. So that is the depiction. Remember here A0 and A1, they are same. So that's why I have fed to the unit delay element after this multiplication operation, A0 into Xn. Here also, if you take the Z transforms of both sides of that equation 10 probably. What was that equation? Yes. And if you just remember that A0 equal to A1 equal to tau by 2, to rearrange the terms, you will get an expression for the transfer function of this trapezoidal integrator. So what will be that expression? What will be that expression? Just go back here. Equation 10. So yz on the left hand side, if you take the z transform, you will have yz. That will be tau by 2 xz plus tau by 2 z to the power minus 1 xz plus z to the power minus 1 yz, using the time shifting property of z transform. Then on rearranging the terms, you may get the transfer function in the z domain as yz by xz.
Sir, can you scroll up to equation number 9? Yes. Okay, sir, done.
So yz by xz, the z transfer function. What will that be equal to? This is the z transfer function for the trapezoidal integrator. It's tau by 2, 1 plus z to the power minus 1 by 1 minus z to the power minus 1. Can also be written as tau by 2 z plus 1 by z minus 1. Do you remember that such a function of z is known to us? I am simply pointing out the nature of the function of z. Have you come across such function of z almost resembling this expression?
Yes, sir. The bilinear
Yes,
transformation.
it's just the reciprocal relation is this one. I'll address that. So here, if you consider the pole zero representation for the z transfer function of this trapezoidal integrator, there is one zero at z equal to minus 1 and one pole at z equal to 1. If you just compare now with the continuous time integrator had a transfer function, ideal integrator has a transfer function of 1 by s. So 1 by s is equivalent to tau by 2 into 1 plus z to the power minus 1 by 1 minus z to the power minus 1. The equivalent to 1 by s. So s is equivalent to 2 by tau. That's the reciprocal. 2 by tau 1 minus z to the power minus 1 by 1 plus z to the power minus 1. So that is the equivalent relation. So this is nothing but the bilinear transformation relation or Tustin transformation relation. I repeat, in the expression for S, if you consider the first one, 2 by tau z minus 1 by z plus 1, the numerator and denominator, both of them, they are linearly related to z. That's why it's called bilinear transformation relation. And when I right at the beginning of our discussion on z transform, when I expanded natural logarithm of z into an infinite series and then truncated the series after the first term, I pointed out that no logic was, mentioned there, no rationale behind such truncation. This is the rationale now that you are getting. That is the reason why I did that. এটা তো হয়ে গেছে। Based on the backward difference relation for the derivative, we have some observations to make next. After you complete writing after this one, also mention here that this is bilinear transformation or Tustin transformation. Both should be remembered, both names. Have you completed writing down this expression for approximate expression for S?
Yes, sir.
Now try to have a look at what I am saying now. Say you have a signal, analog continuous time signal ST, and you have here a sampler. So it is subjected to sampling and it's converted into a uniformly sampled signal xn tau or a sequence Sn. This Sn is processed by a discrete time LTI system to generate a sequence Zn tau or Zn. Now consider a few cases. First, start from the case that is already known to us. Suppose the discrete time LTI system is such that Zn tau or Zn, that is equal to the first derivative of St with respect to t at t equal to n tau. All right. Consider this case first. This is the first case number 1. We have already come across that derivative, the differentiator, first order differentiator. And Zn is A01 Sn plus A11 Sn minus 1. There is definite reason why I am using two numbers as the suffixes. All right, the subscripts. Both, A01 is 1 by tau and A11 is minus 1 by tau. So that is the nature of the relation between Zn and Sn minus 1. Think about the second case, that the DT-LTI system is such that the output at every instant n tau, it is the second derivative of St at t equal to n tau. Then what will be the relation between Zn and Sn? So this is Zn tau. So Zn tau is again using the backward difference relation. It is the first derivative of the derivative of st at t equal to n tau. All right. So you can write it as dst dt at t equal to n tau minus dst dt at t equal to n tau minus tau divided by tau. Do you agree with this observation?
Yes, sir.
For the first derivative, we had st t equal to n tau minus st t equal to n tau minus tau divided by tau. If that be the case, then why can't we write this expression? We can write this second derivative as first derivative evaluated for t equal to n tau minus first derivative evaluated for t equal to n tau minus tau divided by tau. dst dt at t equal to n tau is represented by the backward difference relation. And dst dt at t equal to n tau minus tau, that is represented by that backward difference relation. Sn tau minus tau, because it is here, t is n tau minus tau. So S n tau minus S n tau minus twice tau divided by tau. That is the numerator. In the denominator, you have this tau. If you just simplify this expression, you will get Zn as A0 to Sn plus A1 to Sn minus 1 plus A2 to Sn minus 2, where A02 is equal to A22. Sorry, this equal to sign is missing here. I'll just introduce that. A02 equal to A22 equal to 1 by tau square, and A12 is equal to minus 2 by tau square. All right. Now think about the case that the DT-LTI system is such that Zn tau is the third derivative of St at t equal to n tau. Proceeding in a similar fashion, you will obtain that type of a difference equation. Zn will be A0 3Sn plus A1 3Sn minus 1 plus A2 3Sn minus 2 plus A3 3Sn minus 3. What will be the actual values of A03, A13, etc. in terms of the sampling period? That I am not considering. But the nature of the difference equation will be like that. Therefore, generalizing, if this DT-LTI system is such that the output is the ith derivative of st at t equal to n tau, then we will have this ith order difference equation relating the output and the input. Zn will be A0 Isn plus A1 Isn minus 1 plus A2 Isn minus 2, in this way up to Ai Sn minus I. Do you agree with that? So write down these observations. These observations will be helpful when we are trying to have a generalized discussion on discrete time LTI systems.
Sir, please scroll up.
এখানে
No, no, no. It's all right. You may scroll down.
So these are all constant coefficient difference relations for the derivatives of different orders, employing backward difference relation. Now I will utilize these observations when I go for the generalized description of the mathematical model for discrete time LTI systems. I will just introduce the general mathematical model for the discrete time LTI system in very brief, then I'll conclude today. So that difference equation you have written down, I think. The ith order difference relation. Representing a discrete time LTI system by a constant coefficient difference equation. You start from a continuous time LTI system. Input or excitation is xt, output is yt, or the response is yt. In the time domain, what is the most basic mathematical model for representing this continuous time LTI system? It is the constant coefficient differential equation representation involving yt and xt. So that is the most basic mathematical model. You have come across such mathematical models when you have studied the, what should I say, several systems in instrumentation. You have studied the vibration galvanometer, you have studied the D'Arsonval galvanometer dynamics, you have studied the RLC circuit, transients, etc. There you had the differential equation representation. So that is the nature. Summation over I equal to 0 to capital N AI times the ith derivative of yt with respect to t. On the right hand side, you have summation over I equal to 0 to capital M of bi times the ith derivative of xt with respect to I, where these ai's and bi's, these are constants, linear constant coefficient differential equation. For Biot stability, M has to be less than equal to N. That means if you obtain the transfer function from this differential equation, the order of the numerator polynomial should be less than equal to that of the denominator polynomial for Biot stability. Now think about the case. This continuous time system, it was performing certain task. If we want that the same task should be performed by a discrete time LTI system, then what do? First, you sample xt, feed it to a DT-LTI system, and find out the discrete time equivalent model for that type of differential equation representation. All right. So that is the case. So here what will happen? Equivalent to that one, we should have AI times the ith derivative of it represented, evaluated at t equal to n tau. Similarly here, the ith derivative of xt with respect to t evaluated at t equal to n tau. So the ith derivative of yt can be represented by an ith order constant coefficient difference relation as shown here within brackets. On the right hand side also, the ith order derivative of xt with respect to t at t equal to n tau, that will also be represented by an ith order difference relation of this form. So then if you multiply that summation, that term within brackets by ai, and here on the right hand side, all these terms are multiplied by bi, what will be the ultimate nature of the left hand side and right hand side? On the left hand side, you will have summation over I equal to 0 to n of some constant alpha I into yn minus I. On the right hand side, you have a summation of I equal to 0 to capital M beta I times xn minus I. All right. So that is the most basic mathematical model for a DT-LTI system, that of a constant coefficient difference equation model. We say that it's a constant coefficient difference equation model. To write down this part, then I'll conclude today. আছে ইয়ে,
এটা
বলবো কি জানি।
ছোট ছোট তো।
হয়েছে এটা?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হয়ে গিয়েছে।
দাঁড়াও একটু দেখে নিই আমি একটা জিনিস। হ্যাঁ, ঠিক আছে, মানে এই ইকুয়েশন 2 অবধি, এই অবধি থাক। বলে বলো। আই অবলিক পি মানে ইনপুট, ও অবলিক পি মানে আউটপুট। লেখা হলে বলো আমাকে।
Sir, done.
Okay. So I am Okay, so you may log out.